Hello, this video is about creating sandbox for software development environment with observable connectivity using Tinyproxy and Pi-hole, QEMU for virtual machines, Podman for services, and Waypipe for seamless Wayland windowing. Why? There are supply chain attacks via dependencies in official software package registries, and biggest link security of my own computer is actually me when I try various libraries. Auditing of all libraries, this is practically impossible to do in free time. So isolation is one approach that should give me some safety net and contain the malware if there's some present in some dependency. So the goals are isolation software development. Internet and Git access is required, but I want isolated execution of whatever library does. And I want to be able to also observe traffic. And I have few screens with different DPI and refresh rates, and I like to enjoy them with their full potential. So here we have high-level diagram showing how all this is composed. We have two virtual machines. One is development virtual machine, the other one is proxy virtual machine. In development virtual machine, we have application or multiple applications running. Graphical applications use Waypipe to show windows on the host compositor. And all applications should connect to the internet via Tinyproxy. And Tinyproxy resolves DNS using Pi-hole. So let's do it. Now I will show you configuration files for this setup. On the host, we have Podman, one Docker image for the Waypipe. This contains just one utility, and Podman compose with the setup of the container what it should do. This will run into host. In virtual machines, we use Fedora Cloud, and this uses cloud init. So we have some metadata, which is just host name, some network configuration, which is needed here because we use static IPs for the QEMU socket network, and user data. For the development machine, the special thing is that I have Waypipe installed and don't build or some ID. There should be better ID out there just for demonstration. And some configuration. We need to set up proxies for package managers and also for the environment, and also some SSH config because we will use proxy to connect to SSH. For proxy virtual machine, we have also metadata, network configuration, which is combination of DHCP for the connection to the internet for user network type, and also static configuration for the socket network type. And user data, here we have a bit more, just one package which is Podman compose, but also file like Tinyproxy Docker file for the image, Tinyproxy configuration for HTTP, Tinyproxy configuration for SSH, which also uses filter and allows to connect to port 22. Filter is in default deny, so it's like allow list, and we allow only GitHub. And Podman compose with Tinyproxy container for HTTP, another one for SSH, Pi-hole, and some networking setup. So now let's go run it. So we will start with the proxy virtual machine. So we will go to the proxy directory, create disk image, create initialization ISO, and launch the virtual machine. KVM, 4 threads, 4 gigabytes of memory. In solution, I saw disk vhost for Wayland, one network device for the internet connection, and the other one for the connection between proxy and development virtual machine. So we run it. Login. Okay, it's not completed. But we will go and start services. And bring them up. Okay, it's not yet installed. It takes some time. Okay, it should be done. So now we are starting containers, downloads images, and we'll start them. So Pi-hole should be up now, and we should be able to connect to it. It's port forwarded, so this is why I'm able to connect it on localhost 8080. And now we go for the development machine. So we go through a similar procedure. We create disk image. Now we create ISO for initialization and bring this up. We see something appear in Pi-hole because this virtual machine doesn't have access to internet directly. It uses proxy for every internet access, also for the initialization of itself. So it started. Login. Now we can try to connect to GitHub with SSH. But I don't have any SSH key set up, so we'll set up some. Nice comment with a passphrase. Why I can't do this? Okay, so SSH key is created. Now I will add it to my Git. The settings. So I added it, and now I should be able to connect to the GitHub. And we see we are in. So it works. And for the HTTP connection, we just try to call something. Okay. Where it goes. Okay, it takes some time. Interesting. Okay, I have HTTP proxy set up probably, so export this differently. Configuration needs to be fixed, and now it should work. Okay, so it works. So we've shown that SSH connection works and also HTTPS. And now we try some to launch some application with GUI. I don't have ID picked, so this was present in Fedora package registry, so I trying this one. I'm not going to use it. I need to pick some ID. And that's all. We see it works. So there are things to improve. And that's actually this question, because JetBrains IDs don't support Wayland natively. And I am using just Wayland proxy here. So I need to do some figuring out. QEMU setup. For convenience, I would like to some permanent separate storage for data and some better application management and virtual machine management. For security, maybe add some firewalls, hard and access to the Wayland. Maybe allow list of HTTP traffic, but this would take some amount of time to figure out the domains, and maybe intrusion detection system or prevention system. For the host OS, what if host OS gets compromised? It might need some hardening, like minimal base OS, no applications on the host OS, and what would be the ideal distribution for that? Cubes OS, well, this is probably the best when it comes to this, but I want more convenience, I'd say, with my displays. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Comment with ideas, suggestions, or questions you have about this. Bye.